Hello, Afton. How is everybody today? No lesson, no real math to talk about. I just want to talk about your guys' test and kind of what to expect and all that and everything else. So first off with the test, so I will be distributing that through Math Excel. I am going to go ahead, I am going to send that out through Math Excel, and then on Canvas, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have an assignment, if you will. I'm going to have that where you can go ahead and you can type your work in. That's the thing that I want you guys to kind of recognize, is that I am going to still ask for your guys' work. I am going to expect you to turn that into me. I understand there are some things that you're not going to need any work. I completely understand that. I don't expect to see work for every single problem from the test, but I do expect to see some work for some of these problems. I have trouble believing that with all of these problems, you won't need to write down a single thing. I would need to write down some things, and I'm kind of good at math. So that's just the thing that I would say, is that make sure with that you just jotted some notes down. Again, number things properly, because I have assigned points on Math Excel, and it's just going to count it right or wrong. But here's the thing. If I see that you got that problem wrong, I'm going to go back, and I'm going to look at your work, and I might assign you some partial credit for those problems. So that's the thing that I would say, is that make sure that anything that you can show me in terms of work, anything that you can write down, is going to help you receive some partial credit. Because if we were in class, I would give you partial credit. So with us not being in class, I still want to give you some partial credit for the work that you do, because you can still show me. We all make mistakes. We all add things wrong. We all multiply things wrong. That happens. Okay? I don't have a problem with that. I was like, as long as you show me that you understand the big ideas. So that's the first thing that I would say, is just that you are going to have to turn in your work, but you are going to put your answers in on Math Excel. The second thing is, I'm going to have a time. I'm going to make it timed. So according to Math Excel, because they tell me the average time that I can expect for an assignment and things like that, and they do the same thing for the test. I think the average time for this, they said, was around 30 minutes, like 30 to 32 minutes. I believe that was the time there. I understand that you know what, like you have that moment where you hesitate and you freeze for a second. You go, oh, what was that again? I was like, so with that, I'm going to extend that time. I'm going to give you 50 minutes, the same amount of time that you would have if you were in class. I was like, because honestly, the test, I tried to make it look as close to the actual test that you would take on paper. I was like, I went ahead and I did the same thing there. So that's the other thing that I would say, is that I'm going to give you 50 minutes. It is a time test. Okay, the only reason I'm giving you 50 minutes for a time test is because, one, if you're working on this for 2 hours, something fishy is going on. I was like, this test should not take you 2 hours. Okay, 2, if you need more time, you need to communicate that with me today. You need to tell me. I can make some individual adjustments and things like that, and we can talk and have a conversation and maybe alleviate some of that fears. Maybe you're afraid that you don't have enough time. And then after we talk a little bit, maybe you go, oh, yeah, no, never mind, I'll be able to finish that. So that's the thing, is that if you don't think that 50 minutes is enough time for the test is, I believe, 21 questions. Okay, if I'm off, it's off by 1. It's 21 or 22. I'm pretty sure it's 21 questions. I was like, if you need more, if you don't think that 50 minutes is enough time to do 21 questions, then again, please talk to me and we can have a conversation. That is the biggest thing that I would say, is you have to talk to me in order for me to have that consideration. Don't come to me after you finish the test and say, but Mr. Keith, I didn't get to 5 of the problems. I'll be like, well, why didn't you talk to me ahead of time? So again, you need to talk to me. I've said that in almost every single video. I'm saying it again today. You need to talk to me. Third thing, let's talk about because we talked about that. Third thing I want to talk about is academic honesty. Okay, I understand you're not physically there. Okay, I understand that temptation to cheat. I understand that temptation here. Now, in class, there's certain things, there's certain formulas that I would say, hey, have that memorized. You know what? I'm not there. I was like, I'm not going to consider that cheating. If you know that, hey, I was like, I'm going to need this formula and this formula, I don't have, I'm just using these two as the example, maybe there was something else, but I don't have the midpoint and distance formula memorized. If you had that written down on a piece of paper, I was like, wow, that you were working on for the test, Again, I personally will not consider that cheating right now. If it was in class, it'd be different, but I'm not going to consider that cheating. Okay. If you're looking up things in your notes, if you're looking up things on the internet, guess what? That 50 minutes is going to start to shrink. And that's why that's why I'm making it a timed test, is because to help curtail maybe this idea of hey, well, you know what, I can just cheat on this test. Here's the other thing. If you feel that you have to cheat on this test, you need to come talk to me immediately. Because I'm sorry, between the ideas of solving linear equations, graphing linear equations, writing linear equations, and midpoint and distance, if you feel that you need to cheat on any of those 4 topics, I was like, then you need to have a conversation with me, because I don't think that any of those 4 topics weren't cheating. All right, there are some things later on that are super complex that, you know what, we'll talk about those when we cross that bridge. But if you feel that you have to cheat on this test, I was like, then again, we need to talk. We need to have a conversation, because I'm worried for you in this class if you feel that you have to cheat on this test. So that's the big thing. Now, on the idea, I was like, this is like 3.5. I did want to go ahead and talk about personal integrity. I was like, if you know what, I mean, I completely understand the idea of wanting to get a good grade. I totally get that. And I mean, we all want good grades. I think that's the thing. I don't think you'd be in college algebra if you didn't at least have a passing care about your grades. Okay? But here's the thing. I can tell you right now, in college, I got 3 C's. I got 3 C's right here. I was like, they were probably the 3 hardest classes that I took. I was like, now, 2 of those 3 C's were 79.7 and the teacher didn't round, but that's another story. So I got 3 C's. I can tell you, I learned more in those 3 classes than over half the classes I got A's in, because I had to work, because I had to try, because I had to bust my butt in order to be successful. I was like, so the thing is, yeah, you can look at it and say, oh, well, if I cheat, I get a good grade. But did you learn? That's the whole point of this class, is you learning. So that's the big thing I wanted you guys to understand, is that look, it's not, when we don't want you guys to cheat, it's not about the idea of, well, we don't want you to get a good grade. We want you to learn. Cheating isn't learning, all right? It's copying from somebody. So that's the biggest thing I would say, is that have some personal pride in yourself. I would much rather turn in a piece of paper and say, this is my work, than turn in a piece of paper like, well, at least somebody will think I'm smart for a second. Doesn't make sense to me. So that's the other thing that I wanted to say. So on that note, again, big things, test is 21 questions. I was like, I'll expect you to turn in your work on Canvas. Again, just take a picture with your phone, submit it on Canvas, that's fine. The test is timed. 50 minutes. I think that's more than adequate. If you need more time, you need to talk to me today. I was like, and then the last point, again, in short, it's don't cheat, but more specifically, take some pride in yourself and don't cheat. All right, so that's it. I really just want to talk about that. If you have questions, again, reach out to me during that synchronous time. Shoot me an email. I was like, set up some kind of meet with me. Again, if you need to meet with me in the morning before the test for some reason, I was like, we could possibly do that. But that's the big thing. If something happens technology-wise or anything like that, again, talk to me and we can get that all addressed. So that is it for today. Work on that review, and I will see you another time. Bid you adieu. Have a good day. Stay safe.